Hi, hello, hello, hello. It's Tia. Hi. Before anyone has a chance to come in, I just want to say this video is about teaching a way to cure yourself of anything basically, to put yourself in touch with your higher self and your higher ways of knowing. And this is a technique that was discovered by Bayard Barnes. And you can find some of his videos online. He has his own channel. He does more about investing these days. But you can also look up thecuredrive.org. Let me just make sure. I just want to get all this information in. Oh, someone's here. So it is wayimmune, WAYIMMUNE.org. And this is the technique that I'm going to be teaching you today. I'll say hello to whoever's here in just a minute. I want to get this very basic information for anyone of the Hope Crew or anyone who might come later. And they don't want to watch the whole thing, but they want to just find out what the video is about. So that's the technique that I will be teaching. Jamal, hi. Good morning to you. It must be early for you. It's almost 3 p.m. in the afternoon for me, so it's not as early. I shouldn't be congratulated as much as you should for being here. Thank you always for your blessings, and may also you be blessed. And so today, I do want to teach you something that is a blessing. It has been a blessing to me. Oh, you went live a few minutes ago. Oh, I didn't realize that. I'm sorry. If I had seen that, I would have joined yours. I was just getting ready. Are you gone? I was just getting ready to teach this technique. So this is a technique called Immunics. And what you do is you're going to find a place to rest your hand or whatever it is that you're going to be using to monitor your reactions. So what you're doing is you're putting yourself in contact. Okay, it's arguable about who are you putting yourself in contact with. Are you putting yourself in contact with your higher self? Are you putting yourself in contact with God? Are you putting yourself in contact? Whatever it is, it works. And so just accept it, use it, and it can cure you of just all kinds of things. Great. So you want to put your hand on a surface. You want to rest your hand or your whatever you're going to be using, toes or whatever. You want to rest it so it's able to have some movement freely on its own. And so what you're going to do is you're going to start and you're going to say, I'm connected to my body's ability to control my immune system. And you're just going to say that, and you're going to see if you get any movement. That it's that simple. A yes is if you get some movement in your body, and a no is if you get no movement, you're not connected. And so what you want to do is just connect yourself. I'm connected to my body's abilities to control my immune system. And so I've got a little movement there just when I say that. Now, Jamal, are you still here? Are you trying this technique as we're sitting here? Do you have something to cure? Are you feeling a little sick, or is there something that you want to try to cure? If you do, just if there's anything that you're trying to cure, please just tell me if you're feeling sick, if you're not feeling well. And otherwise, I will just go ahead and do some demonstration about the kinds of things you can do to cure. So we say, all of my bodies are free of pathologies. And so I get a little bit of movement there. I don't get that big connection that I got a few minutes ago, right? I got a minute ago, I had a big connection. But right now, I'm just getting a little bit of movement. And so that means that I have something in my bodies that I need to take out. So I want to say, I am removing pathologies from all of my bodies. And I'm not just saying it, I'm doing it. I feel myself doing it. It's like once you've done Immunics for a while, you start feeling a difference between this base body that you have that gets sick and these higher bodies that you feel. If you start to get sick and you feel that tingle in your throat or in your ear or your nose or something, those are your higher bodies telling you that your physical body is about to get sick. And so the best thing you can do when you're feeling that tingle is to sit down and dedicate yourself to some time doing Immunics. Because I'll tell you what, if you spend about 15 or 20 minutes knocking this, whatever you're getting out in the first place, then you will not be sick. And I very rarely have any kind of cold or flu or anything like that. I don't even remember the last time I got something. The last time I had something was a reaction against the COVID shot that I had, and I've not been sick since that. So, Jamal, I had the flu all last week, but it's just, it took time for me to heal up. A lot of different medicines to help. Yeah, so Immunics can also be used to help you tell if your body needs something or not. Because if you are connected to your body's higher way of knowing, right? If you're connected to your God connection, if you're connected to your highest possible self, now you have a way that you can ask it questions and you can get answers. So if you've ever just known something, if you've ever had the experience of just knowing something for no reason that you shouldn't have been able to know, that's because you were actually connected to your higher self. You were connected to your higher bodies. You were connected to your God selves that actually knows things and can tell you, your stupid individual human related body self, what it is that you're doing. So you can say, what is it that I need? I'm connected to my body's ability to control my immune system. Now, I want to find out what I need. And so I'm going to ask, does my body need anything vitamin-wise at this time? And I'm getting some movement, yeah. Well, I've not eaten yet today. So is it related to food? Yeah, it's related to food. So I don't know if I need nutrition, if I need vitamins beyond what I'm going to eat today. I'm planning to make a macaroni kind of stroganoff. And so because I'm planning to make this, I don't know if I will still, if that will have, will the macaroni stroganoff that I'm planning to make be completely a good thing to eat for lunch? I got a no movement. And as soon as I acknowledge it, I start to get little yeses. Oh no. So is it a bad thing to eat for lunch, or is it just incomplete? I'm getting a little bit of incomplete. Now, the problem with this is if I am getting mixed signals, or if I'm getting something that feels that it's inconsistent with something else, this is what we call in Immunics, we call being conditional. It means that for whatever reason you are attached to an outcome. It means that you are not able to test correctly for yourself the question because you just don't want something to be right or wrong. You don't want it to be true. And so I feel that this beef stroganoff that I'm going to have for lunch is probably not nutritionally the best thing for me. I feel that I can balance it out and it won't be as bad for me as it could be. But just by doing Immunics, just by doing my finger motions on it, I found out that what I'm planning to have for lunch is maybe not the best thing I could be having. And look, as I'm saying it, my fingers are jumping. It's like, oh no. So, okay, so it's not the best thing I could be having for lunch. So now I have to say, well, what is the best thing? Could I have the best thing? I don't even know if I could have the best thing. Is it available to me? I don't even know. What is it? I don't know. My hand won't tell me. So this is where it gets tricky, especially because I'm conditional, because I want that macaroni stuff for lunch. I want it. And so, look, I'm trying to hold my hand down. Oh, that's subconscious. Oh, to eat pepperoni pizza. So I have a gluten intolerance and a lactose intolerance. And I have what is called a FODMAP sensitivity, which means I have very special issues about sugars, specifically fruit sugars and vegetable sugars. So the pepperoni pizza that I can eat, I do have. In Germany, we don't have pepperoni pizzas. We just have salami on pizzas. And so I do have a gluten-free, half of a gluten-free pizza in the oven that has salami on it I could have. Is that as good for me as the macaroni? So I was gonna, okay, anyway, so you can test a lot of things with this technique. The most important thing is that you have some ability where you know that you're not, I mean, like my hand is relaxed otherwise. And so when it jumps, it's sort of like it's jumping by instinct more than by anything else. And so I'm starting to I get a little finger movement like this when I'm not, yeah, I have my arm balanced on my leg so that it doesn't have, so I'll get a little tiny finger movement. This is how Bayard Barnes usually gets his movement, is just a very small finger twitch. You can have all kinds of movements in Immunics. We had a guy who had who was paraplegic, and he would get eye flutters. So you can get connected in a lot of ways. And so in Immunics, we say we're removing pathologies, all pathologies, and then we remove immune dysfunction. So now I say all of my bodies are free from immune dysfunction. And they're not quite. I'm not getting the big movement. And when I notice that I'm not getting the big movement, I get a little movement. So it's not just about what I'm saying out loud. It's also about when I realize I didn't get a big movement, does that mean that I have some immune dysfunctions in my body? Yeah, then I get a little tiny movement there. So after you've been doing this for a while, your movements will start meaning more and more to you. So right now I'm just going to do a quick removal. I'm removing immune dysfunction from all of my bodies. I am removing immune dysfunction from all of my bodies. I am removing anything that I have caught. I am removing anything that I might have caught. Colds, flus, fevers, bacterias, viruses. I am removing all foreign negative influence from all of my bodies. So you can do all kinds of things with that. And so please, Jamal, you're wonderful for being here. If you have anything specific or if you have any questions, I'm not sure if there's anyone else here. So if you have any questions or anything about something that might be bothering you. One thing that I've been trying to do a lot lately is deal with the anxiety that I'm having about what's going on in the United States. And so what's kind of interesting is when you start learning how all of these bodies work in the world, then you start recognizing how they sort of work like a vacuum cleaner or a blower. If you're not careful, if you're not balanced, then what's going to happen is you're either sort of sucking things up, right? Like you're going around and you're sucking up pathologies and you're sucking up immune dysfunction and you're sucking up stuff that sick people are putting out. You victimized yourself, or you've put yourself in a position where you haven't gotten enough sleep, you haven't been eating right, you're worn out, you've been overworking yourself, you're tired. And so now your body is just, it needs. And so it's just sucking everything up that it finds from everywhere around it. And so your body's just literally sucking up other people's immune dysfunctions and pathologies when you're wasting yourself out. And so the other problem is that, let's say you're an aggressive person and you are aggressively trying to be healthy, and you're going to be healthy, damn it. And now what's happening is you're sort of spewing things out. You're sort of blowing out at people. And if you have started contracting something in your higher bodies, this means now that instead of healing yourself, what you're doing is you're just projectile vomiting your illness on whoever is around you. And so if you've ever been in a grocery store situation, or if you've ever been in a public store, public situation, and you start feeling yourself, like you start feeling this scratchiness in your throat, where is this coming from? What's going on with this? That means you're very highly in tune with yourself. It means you're very highly connected, and your higher bodies are telling you, oh, look out, something's coming in on us, something's coming in, deal with it, please deal with it. And so if you can go ahead, I used to take my mother to a bingo game. She used to love to go to bingo, and it was at the senior center. You can imagine there was sickness all around us every week. And so what I would do half the time while I'm sitting there, I'm kind of playing bingo, and I'm sort of also removing things as I'm playing bingo. It would be like B7, and I would be like, B7, I'm removing pathologies, catching, removing anything I'm caught, removing anything, you know? And so I would just sit there and do this the whole time. And I would leave, and my sister or my mother would get sick, and I wouldn't get sick. I was dealing with it as it came. And it's a lot easier to remove something. Imagine that, that your physical body is like the least God connected of all of your bodies. Your physical body is the most dense. It is the stupidest. It is the one that fights the things you really want, that you need. Your physical body is the one that is your baby, like, I want what I want right now. And so if you can think of it that way, and you say, okay, physical body, I want you to have some fun things. I want you to have some good things, but we have to take care of you too. And the way to take care of you is to help you connect more strongly with the higher selves. And these higher selves are more God-connected selves. So really just try to stay connected to your highest possible self. And you can just do this throughout the day. You can say, I'm connected to my highest possible self. I'm connected to my God self. I'm connected to, and in Immunics, we just use curing. We're focused on cures. And so in Immunics, we very specifically say, I'm connected to my body's ability to control my immune system. And that way we don't take God out of it. But for people who might be conditional about connecting to God, about us, we've tried teaching Immunics a lot of different ways. This is maybe 20 years I've been working with Immunics now. And so we tried teaching Immunics a lot of different ways. And what we found is that everybody has to find their own way. They have to find their own reason for their God connection. And so it's very important to recognize that every single person in the world has this, even if they don't believe they have it. My husband absolutely refuses to believe in this. And he will sit at the table, and I will know that he has thought something true because his leg will jump. And I will say, whatever you just thought to yourself is really true. And so it's kind of funny that he can still be so connected, even though he has no idea that he's connected. Yes. And so, Jamal, when you're finding your connection directly to God, you can connect directly to God. You can say, I am connected to my highest, I am connected to my ability to speak with my Godhood, I am to my God, my believed God, myself. I can't say it for you. I don't know how you would connect. But you can find your own way to connect to either, if you have it this way, if you're an atheist, you've still got this ability to connect. I'm sorry to tell you. And you can believe it's God, or you can believe it's something else. You can believe it's your highest energetic self. But what I will tell you is that you are connected to everything else on the universe, in the universe. You are connected to everything else here on earth and everyone else here on earth. You are part of the human condition. And whether you accept God or deny God, you have to accept that you're part of the human condition, because that is just truth. And so once you can say, well, I'm part of this and I can understand what's happening, I'm going to connect to my highest possible self, then Immunics is going to work for you. And Immunics is going to work for you whether you believe it's going to work for you or not, if you just do it. So again, all of my bodies are free of pathologies. No, I'm not getting the movement I want. I'm removing pathologies from all of my bodies. I am removing anything that I have caught. I am removing anxiety about politics in the United States. I am removing my ability to be triggered. I am removing my ability to be triggered by forces that are outside of my experience. I don't know what that means, and I'm having trouble making it happen. And I don't know if you noticed, but my fingers are not moving very much at all. I don't know how to remove this anxiety, because this, so I'm asking, please, for information. So using Immunics, we say that you can do three things. You can remove things, you can install things, and you can know things. And so I'm going to try to now use Immunics to install. I am installing the ability to not be triggered. Pumped. Okay, when I did that, I felt my shoulders relax a little bit. And so I don't know what I'm installing really, but there's something that I'm installing that's helping. So I'm going to do some more of that. I am installing more of whatever can help me not be triggered. Can I know what is helping me not be triggered? Is it my God connection that is helping me not be triggered? Yes. So all of my bodies are connected to my God connection. Not all. I have pathologies in some of my bodies. Yeah. Okay. I have pathologies in at least one of my bodies, and that is impacting my God connection. I am unable to completely connect to my highest self because I have some pathology in one of my lower bodies. So, am I able to knock out this pathology so that I can increase my God connection? I'm getting a very weak yes. Ugh. Do I need to go to a doctor to get this pathology cured? No, I don't have to go to a doctor. Um, what do I have to do? Do I have to eat better? Do I have to more? Is it nutritionally related? I'm not getting a yes. What is this pathology about? Hi, follow your bliss live. It's great to see you. So I was wanting to teach this technique, and I'm hanging out now, and I want to talk to anyone who comes in and say, how can I help you with this technique? So this is, you want to just kind of relax your hand, put it somewhere where it's on a table or something where your fingers can move without being impacted by anything. But they don't have to move to be happy, if you know what I mean. So if you put your hand in a position like this, and now what you're going to do is you're going to say, I'm connected to my body's abilities to control my immune system. And just say that to yourself or say it out loud and see if you get any movement. So if you get any movement, this is a yes. If you don't get any movement, you're not connected. And so what you want to do is maybe repeat it, or you want to try to rephrase it. I'm connected to my highest possible self. Okay, you can see I'm not getting a lot of movement. And again, I'm understanding that I have some pathology in my body that is impacting my highest connection, which I knew could happen before. I've known that was possible, but I can't say that I've ever gotten that kind of knowledge before. I've never had that come to me before in 20 years of doing Immunics. So I think that's kind of important. I am dealing with some sort of personal issues, so it might have something to do with that. I'm dealing with some living in Germany issues. I have to start German classes back. It might have to do with that. You know, what I'm having trouble doing, though, is I've been having trouble removing anxiety and triggers that I feel from news coming in from the United States. And I know that if I'm feeling that in Germany, it must be really difficult to deal with in the States. So what I'm really trying to do here too is to try to find a way to actually address that using Immunics. And that might be, let me see if I can test that. Oh, that arm's getting tired. So I'm connected to my body's ability. Okay, I'm still connected. I don't have a problem with that. Okay, so what is impacting my abilities to connect to my highest self? Is it the anxiety from my shared body's self? So we have so many different selves, and one of them, at least one, well, we have at least 3 or 4 that we share with the population at large and our families and the people closest to us. And so we have there's 3 really high bodies that we found. We've found 3 really low bodies that tend to absorb sickness and illness. And then we have found 3 middle bodies that are connected to the human condition and the human sense of being in the world. And so you can test this for yourself once you start doing more Immunics, and you'll find the same answers that we've gotten across the years. So, so if you have anything, if you just try to get connected, if you're sitting here with me, just let your hand be there on the table and just think, I'm connected to my body's highest self. I'm connected to my body's ability to control my immune system. And this is, I gave this website out. I'll put it in the link before, but it is the Immunics Cure Drive. The throat is dry now. wayimmune.org. This technique was discovered by Bayard Barnes. He was sitting around one day in the park, and he found that he could connect to his highest self. And he went home, and he was living with his girlfriend at the time, Keely. And so he went home and he told Keely, he said, Keely, look what I've seen. Look what happened. And he showed her how, I can't remember if he was doing it with his hand or his foot or something at the time. He showed it to her. She immediately sat down and she had it and she picked it up. And she became so connected on that day that she actually ended up writing most of the college that is the Immunics Cure Drive at wayimmune.org. Now, I love this website. This website is tremendous. The problem that I have is that it is conditional because it asks you to either donate to get your instruction, or it asks you to send an email telling them why you cannot donate. And I've had this conversation with Bayard for many, many years, that he needs to let this information be free, that we just need to let it all be free, and people will donate when they have access to the information. But after 20 years, they're still tying this up with it's a $6 donation on the. Now, is it worth it? Absolutely. Is it worth it? Absolutely. Is it worth it? Absolutely. You will find so many things you can cure. You will find so many things you can test. You will find so many ways to remove, install, and know things using your own God connection. And it is absolutely worth it. And so, yes, do check it out if you have time to check it out, if you have the inclination to check it out, if you get a signal and you're curious to know more. I've always been conditional about money. And when we talk about conditions in Immunics, we talk about the thing that's holding us back from getting what we want. If you're conditional, it means that you can't access really the thing that you're trying to get. And so we talk about the human condition because there are many, many things in the human condition that make it difficult for us to access our God selves, our highest selves. So we are trying to cure our lower body selves that we have that are independent and stubborn and dense and difficult. And it's so hard to cure those lower bodies. It's much easier to cure something when it's God connected. When you can rely on the power of the universe to help you cure something, baby, you can cure things. And if you can rely on the power of the things that are around you to cure things, you can cure things. And so when you start trying to cure things and stay in your own little shell, you will find that you're very dense and it's very difficult to cure things at that level. So I just want to see if I can do a little bit more work with this. Renee, if you have anything, or Jamal, if you have anything you want to work on, or any kind of questions you have, just ask, and I can test things for you. One of the interesting things to do is if you find yourself in a condition about something. I was testing my lunch earlier, and I want this beef stroganoff. I want to make this stuff, and it's not the healthiest option for me. I find out by doing my connecting. And I'm conditional about it because I want it. And so sometimes if you want to test something, you can ask another person. You can say, look, can you test something for me? Yes or no? And you ask the question yourself. You don't let them even hear the question. Your God connection hears the question. Your God connection is connected to the other person, and the other person can test for you and get a yes or a no. And so one of you is asking, is that really possible? And my hand is jumping, yes. So there's something really interesting going on there to be able to access these God connections and to be able to control with help to rid ourselves of these immune dysfunctions. So let me just do this again. All of my bodies are free of pathologies. I'm removing pathologies from all of my bodies. All of my bodies are free of immune dysfunction. I am removing immune dysfunction from all of my bodies. I need something to help me remove this immune dysfunction. I am absorbing whatever I need to help me with this rid myself of this immune dysfunction. I am getting rid of whatever is keeping me from having a good connection to my higher selves. So I'm doing some balancing. Okay, look, my connection's picking up. Okay, sorry to close my eyes like that on you, but I really needed to concentrate just for a minute. And so as I was balancing, this is another problem that I have. I have a real problem with balance and imbalance. God, my hand just jumps when I say that. I have a strong sense of justice in the world. And I think this is probably the result of a neglectful and abusive childhood. But I believe things should be fair. And when things are not fair, I have immune dysfunctions enter my bodies. And I have, it's terrible. Sometimes I would get a herpes outbreak. And I would get a herpes outbreak when I felt unloved, uncared for. And my herpes was a connection to a man that I really loved in the past that had a very negative attachment style. And so I couldn't connect with him and I couldn't be with him, and I knew that. And so anytime I'm sort of feeling like, oh, I'm not loved, so nobody loves me, I will start feeling a little tingle on my lips. And I think, oh, no, you don't. Oh, no, you don't. Oh, no, it's the fan from my computer, if you can hear that. This is an old computer. If you hear some kind of thing that's distracting. Yeah. If this camera is going to work, I might be able to hook it to my newer computer, which is what I really want to do. But the sound system on there is not as good either. So I finally got the camera running, but I'm using an old computer for it. And it is running. And there's nothing. Yeah. A harmonic frequency would be great. Evo Artur, where are you when we need you? We need your background frequencies. Yeah. Good. No, nothing. That's all. And you can do this all day long. This is really good to do when you're driving. If you're driving somewhere, which I know you do a lot, I follow your bliss. I don't know if you want me to keep saying your name or not. But if you drive a lot, this is something you can do. It's very interesting because there was a time when I was living like 2 hours away from where I was teaching. And so I had to drive 2 hours one way to teach 3 classes and then drive back. And so as I was on my way back, sometimes I would feel that I had caught something from the students that night. So I would say, I'm connected to my body's abilities to control my immune system. Removing everything that I've caught. I'm removing everything that I've caught. I'm removing anything that I've caught. I'm removing all colds, all viruses, all flus, all immune dysfunction. I'm removing all negative bacteria. I am removing all pathologies. Okay. Yeah. So 20 minutes is a great time. 10 minutes is really good. You just kind of, if you can get into a zone and get connected, and then I'm connected to my body's abilities to control my immune system. Let me put my arm back down because my hand is going to. All of my bodies are free of immune dysfunction. All of my bodies are free of pathologies. I'm doing well on the pathologies. I have some immune dysfunction. You know what it probably is? Oh, and now I just realized, and my body's now it's jumping. It's this infection that I have that is, so I have bad teeth, and there's some infection in my sinus cavities that I've been having a lot of trouble getting out. I don't want to go on to antibiotics because they're so hard on the body. But just to get that out is very difficult. And I've not been working on that with Immunics. I need to be working on that. So I'm removing sinus infection. All of my bodies are free of sinus problems. I am clearing sinus infection. I am clearing bad teeth bacteria. That one's hard. I have to be working with other things like antibacterial mouthwash and stuff like that, right? So, what else? I'm still working on how to remove this anxiety that I might feel from the United States. Cold going around. Yeah. Driving Immunics, meditation. That's a really good idea. It's really just the same thing. And the main thing that you have to do is, if you're connected, believe the things that come to you. Because when you are connected, oh, I see what you mean, to have it playing as you're driving. That's a really good idea. Thank you. You're so good. So, yeah, it's really about trusting yourself, though. And so, as you're doing Immunics, you remove things, install things, and know things. And so these things that come to you in this blinding flash is because you're connected. And so if something comes to you, test it. Is my anxiety about what's happening in the United States keeping me from being completely healthy? Yes, it is. I knew that before I tested. I'm getting a yes. Can I remove that anxiety? And what I know when I ask that question is, I can remove my ability to be triggered by some things or some people. And that's what I get in my head as an answer to that question. And so now I have to figure out, how the heck do I remove triggers? Now I have to ask, can you teach me how to remove triggers? Can I learn, now I might just have to start questioning. Do I remove triggers to people? Yes, I can remove triggers to people. Can I remove my triggers to Donald Trump? No, because he's all in the news. I cannot be untriggered. Can I remove my pathologies from my triggers? Yes. Now I'm getting a strong yes that I can be triggered, but it doesn't have to be pathological. It does not have to cause in me a pathology. So that's what I'm learning now in this moment is, yeah. And so just, get connected, remove, install, and know. And so here we are. I have just found out that I can be triggered, and it doesn't have to make a pathology in me. That I can distance, okay. I'm remembering now a technique that I used with my mother. My mother had multiple sclerosis for 30 years. And I tried to get my mother to do Immunics, but she could never do Immunics. And I think my mother was switched. This is what we call it in Immunics. If you can't get a connection, if you crave things that are bad for you, if you want things that are bad for you, that are causing you problems, this is because you're switched. It's like you're a battery and somebody has put you in backwards. So your negative is connected to a positive and your positive is connected to a negative. And you got to unswitch yourself. And so with Immunics, there's a few ways you can do this. Keely showed us, Keely has found a few things. One thing Keely does is she will hang upside down over the bed, and then she will clap her hands very sharply right in front of her third eye. Okay. And it just helps to do that right there. Just clear that path. And so sometimes that can help you get unswitched. Another way you can unswitch is if you start saying out loud what you want. I want this, I want that, I want the other thing. And as you speak, you will start to notice if you are saying that you want things that are not good for you. And when you notice this, it's almost like something in you wants to correct itself. Now, you might still need the clap. You might still need other ways to clear that. But if you're switched, it's really interesting because the switch is we used to call witches. We would say in Immunics, if somebody's trying to work their way against you, they're a witch. They're working in sort of a switched way. And so just fighting cravings. People are failing their New Year's resolution. Yes, 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 yes. You can remove cravings because you can find out. If you find out what's causing the craving, this is what's very interesting, because what you're craving is not usually what you need, right? It's the thing that goes along with what you need. So because you have this, let's think about this. So let's say craving. I've known in the past, like I used to crave oatmeal when I was sick. And I realized years later it was not the oatmeal I was craving, it was the raisins that my mother used to put in the oatmeal. Vitamin C, oatmeal does have vitamin C, don't get me wrong, but it was the raisins that were the kicker that my system needed. And so now, that's another thing. If you find that you've tested that you're getting sick, immediately just go take 2,000 milligrams of vitamin C. And don't take vitamin C all the time, because your body will adapt itself to the amount of vitamin C it has in your system. And so if you're taking a lot every day, then you have to take 3 or 4 times as much. You can't overtake vitamin C though. Your body will just pee it out. But do take like 3 times as much as you normally take if you start to feel yourself getting sick. And so I don't normally take vitamin C. So if I start feeling sick, I take 2,000 milligrams and anything that I was getting is gone immediately. So this is, yes, exactly. See, this is why the website, the wayimmune.org website is really wonderful. And it has so much information on it and it goes so deep. But honestly, all you need is yourself and your God connection, your connection to your highest self. And it's great to have a lot of information about things to test. And the college is just, they call it a college because there's thousands and thousands of pages of information there. And you can work your way through a whole series of things. There are videos, there's audios. We were doing Cure Drive audios back on the old Yahoo chat group stuff. So there's a lot of information there. There's a lot there. Oh, okay. Yeah. And so to craving, if you're craving something, you may not be actually craving what you think you want. And so um, be careful, because again, um, if you're not balanced yourself, you're either acting like a vacuum cleaner in the world, or you're acting like a blower. And so if you're either sucking things up or you're spewing things out, then your environment's very, very important. If you victimize yourself by not getting enough sleep, by not getting good nutritional stuff, by not having downtime and taking care of yourself, you're going to get sick, because you're going to be in the same environments that people are getting sick in. And then you're going to be sucking all that stuff up, because you're not taking the time to balance yourself, so you're not sucking things up. And there are going to be people around you who are not taking time to balance themselves, and they are aggressive personalities, and they are going to be blowing things out. And so they're going to be blowing their sickness out at you. You'll find this in the grocery store. You'll go in, there will be a family together. Everybody will be sick. The father will be over here. The mother will be here. The children will be scattered around the store. And they will be making you walk between them in their shared familial sickness. I refuse to do that. If you get behind a sick family in the store, do not go between them. Do not go through their sickness path, illness way. They have allowed themselves to get sick and then come spew this out in a public space. Their kids are coughing all over the place. Just don't even walk into that. So there are things you can do to help yourself. And when you start being very, very attuned to your immediate surroundings, you'll start recognizing. And I'm quite often imbalanced. I don't victimize myself, but I do fall prey to thinking that others are being victimized. And I feel, because I have had a childhood that threw me out of balance. I can have panic attacks. I can have sort of an aggressive reaction to things that I don't like, or to somebody who's getting across my boundaries. And so um, I know that my own way of being in the world is often not balanced. So the best thing I can do for myself with Immunics is just continually try. I am balancing. I am balancing all of my bodies and my nature to its highest self. I am removing imbalance. There you go. I am removing imbalance from all of my bodies. Ha. I am removing conditions about injustice. See, part of me knows that the world can't be just. It knows that things will never be just. And it knows that things can't work that way. If everything were balanced, there would be no movement. It requires imbalance to have movement. Yeah. So great. It's great to see you. Thank you for coming in. I'm going to cut out on the hour and then see if there's any part of this that I want to put chapters into chapters. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming in. I wish you a very good day at work, and I hope I can catch you later. I'm in Germany, and sometimes that will interfere with my ability to see you later. Thank you so much for coming in. Take care. Have a good day at work. So, I finish my imbalance up. Let's see. I'm still working to try to remove any intolerances and things that are happening. I'm very curious about this situation, about finding out that I can be triggered, but it doesn't have to lead to a pathology for me. And I was reminded of this when my mother had multiple sclerosis. And when I was working with her, the technique that I was given to work with her was to actually remove the part of her that had multiple sclerosis from her, and to see her multiple sclerosis as being outside of her. And so the most important thing that I learned in that situation was that a person can distance themselves from their disease, and they need to do that. They need to find a place that they are outside of their disease, because multiple sclerosis, especially, is an attack of the immune system. It's an attack that makes your body think that it's actually attacking bad things, but it's attacking your myelin. It's attacking the parts that are good. And so this could be switched, it could be conditional, it could be virus related. We believe it's virus and bacteria related, don't we? Coming now from the years of research they've done about multiple sclerosis. And so I just want to say a few more words about this for my wonderful Hope Crew buddies. And so when multiple sclerosis gets into your system, it tangles itself up into you. And it works by integrating itself into your system to the point where your system doesn't know what's what. And so the best thing you can do, I think, to start with working with Immunics is to try to untangle this crap from who you are. And it's not going to be easy. But what you try to do is you try to bring yourself to a place where you are existing outside of your multiple sclerosis. You can say, I am removing the parts of myself. I am removing my higher bodies that do not suffer from multiple sclerosis. I am isolating. I am learning where is the multiple sclerosis in my bodies. And if I were you and I have multiple sclerosis, I'd be going to the Webb College for sure, because there's a lot in there about dealing with multiple sclerosis. So disentangle. I don't think this is in there, but it's something that I found by working with my mother. And so you want to disentangle your multiple sclerosis from yourself. And you want to try to do that however you can. If that is that if your thinking best identifies the parts of your bodies that have it, or the parts of your bodies that are healthy and free from it. And you might have to unswitch yourself a few times, because we find that having multiple sclerosis switches people. So you're fighting a hard battle, and you're fighting a battle that your body is telling you everything is okay, but you've got to get that part out of yourself that is not you, that is not really, that is the multiple sclerosis. Yep. So that's the big thing you want to do, is you want to try to say, I am separating. And what you can do is maybe do that and just do that for a minute and just say, I'm just going to do that for as long as I can, even if it's a second, a few seconds, and see if you can't feel yourself free of your multiple sclerosis for 1 or 2 seconds. If you can feel a difference, now you have a way to move forward where you can focus yourself on feeling this way more and feeling this way less. And that will create more of a division where more and more of yourself is getting away from more and more of the multiple sclerosis. You can move more and more of yourself and try to free yourself because you feel what you are without it more. Okay. All right. So that's what I want to say about that. And so I'm sorry that if I don't know why I'm saying I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm happy to be here and I'm happy to share this with you today. And I really hope you have a wonderful day ahead. And I will do more of these and hope that other people come and learn how to care themselves from things. Thanks a lot. Take care. Now I have to figure out how to end the stream. Figure out if I'm going to cook that beef stroganoff or not.